Nobody helps you bring home the win like Specs. The fun starts here.
Since 1977, Factory Mattress has been a locally owned family business, giving customers a great night's sleep at an unbeatable price. With decades of experience, a lower price guarantee on all the top brands, including Tempur-Pedic, and the advanced science of our Right Fit technology, Factory Mattress treats Texans right. Come experience the difference shopping local can make at Factory Mattress. Premium brands, lowest prices. Sleep on it.
My Factory Mattress.
Real Texans are genius.
Bud Light salutes you, overly dedicated Texas Longhorn fan.
How come?
You show up to every UT football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, and ball-related sport there is.
Ping pong.
Each game, you slather your entire body in burnt orange.
Every nook and cranny.
Yes, you're brewed in Texas, and so is your Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Texas Edition Bud Light beer cans. Anheuser-Busch, Houston, Texas.
Company trying to lowball you. But here's where it gets better for you. Orchard will handle the sale of your old home, including upgrades, listing, and showing. Here's win number 2. When Orchard sells your old home for more than your cash offer, you keep the extra. You win again. That bears repeating. Orchard not only guarantees the sale of your home, but when it sells for more than they offered you, you keep the extra. Orchard's win-win program gives you the confidence you'll receive the maximum value for your old home, without all the hassles of selling it. If you're curious what Orchard would pay for your home, get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at Orchard.com. Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
If your garage door isn't working or doesn't do what it's supposed to do, who do you call? The answer, Cedar Park Overhead Door. This is a family business, local business for 30 years, and they'd like to serve your family. They will fix it. Need a new door? Oh, check out their showroom and gallery. Increase the curb appeal of your home. But when one breaks, springs, openers, whatever, 24-hour emergency garage door service from Cedar Park. Cedar Park Overhead Door, 335-7441. Taking care of all your garage door chores, Cedar Park Overhead Door.
Gentlemen, the world-famous business and casual shirts from Charles Tyrrell are here. Designed in London and made for Texas. These will be your go-to shirts from the boardroom to the bar and beyond. And right now, you can get 3 exquisite shirts or polos for just $99, plus free shipping and a 6-month guarantee. That's $200 US off. Visit ctshirts.com and use code PRO. That's ctshirts.com, code PRO.
Bush's Chicken is a proud supporter of area schools, athletic programs, and booster clubs, with stores in Cedar Park, Round Rock, Georgetown, both North and South Austin, and our newest store serving Pflugerville and Hutto. Bush's serves the Texas standard in real hand-battered fried chicken and crispy tenders, tasty rolls, and that famous Bush's sweet tea. Bush's Chicken, proud supporter of area schools, athletic programs, and booster clubs. The Texas Standard. Bush's Chicken. It's good, good, good.
Welcome to the Texas Postgame Show on the Austin Radio Network. To give your thoughts on the game, call 512-447-3776. You can also text the show at 337-3776 on the Specs text line. And now, alongside Isiah Collier, here's Bucky Godbolt.
Welcome to the Horn post-game show. The Longhorns go down 37-34 to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I am with Longhorn legend, former coach. You can catch him on B&E every weekday from 6 to 10. Bucky Godbolt. I am Isiah Collier. Catch me with Chad Hastings on the midday show from 12 to 3. You can catch us on the Horn 104.9, 101.9, AM 1260. We're also on our sister station, Coke FM 99.3, 98.5, Thorndale, Austin. Corey Guidry behind the glass. Hit us up on the Specs text line, 512-337-3776. Hit us up if you want to call in. I know y'all want to give y'all's thoughts. That's a tough loss today. 512-447-3776. Oh, man. When you're up by 14 points,
yes,
you gotta stick that fork in them.
Yes, you do. And they didn't do that. They got very conservative in that, late in the third, beginning of the fourth quarter. This was a game that, you want to make a statement for your culture and what you're trying to build for Sark Zay. They had an opportunity to do it, and they did. And they just kind of laid back a little bit and they just didn't get it done. They didn't. There was one cat on their team caught 13 balls. You ought to cover that dude eventually. And this is a game that I, all week long I had said, Texas Longhorns secondary has really been playing really, really well. Well, once again, one of those 50-50 balls got up there, and they didn't win that. They don't win those one-on-one battles. It just doesn't seem that way. But all in all, to me, it was. We can say about the defense, and we can talk about the 100 plays that Texas Tech, 100 plays.
That's a lot of time for a defense to be on the field.
Well, they can get off the field. I mean, there's nothing that says that they can't stop them and then get off. Even if they get an extra down, even if it's a fourth down play, you're allowed to stop them where you get back, you get to go rest. And if you don't do that, they're going to continue to do it. And, boy, Coach McGuire just kept going for it and fourth and fourth and fourth. And I was thinking, man, some of these don't seem like very good moves. I mean, kick a field goal, take the points. I know this is now you're going to be known as the gunslinger, so you're going to be doing this an awful lot. But there's some I thought coaching 101 that, dude, take those points.
Well, I mean, that's how I think teams are going to approach Texas from here on out. They're going to be like, to beat a team like Texas in this magnitude, you're going to have to go for stuff. And he 6 for 8 on fourth downs. That's really going for it. That's really not giving a damn, man. Talk about, not traditional football. Coach McGuire said, F it. We're playing against Texas. We're at home. We feel like these guys still can't tackle. And Pete Kukowski, Gary Patterson, Steve Sarkisian, you really got to go back to the drawing board because that's unacceptable. That you just can't have that happen. And then you look on the offensive side, when you put up those numbers in the first half, 24 points, and to their 14, and then you stop basically running your offense. I know Xavier Worthy got hurt, and that's big, but still, Hudson Card, you can't blame him for this game. I know people are going to be talking about Quinn Ewers and when will he be back. How it's not Hudson Card's fault. So I want to get that out the way.
No, I thought he played well. I mean, he had one turnover. Bijan had
that was a bad pick.
Yeah,
that was a bad pick.
Bijan had a turnover, a costly turnover late. But, once again, your running back, who is just the best in the nation, gets 16 carries. I don't know what they're saving him for. That dude's going out the door. You know how I talked about running the wheels off of him? 16 carries is not running the wheels off of that guy. I love Roschon Johnson. I think he's, we hear about what he does for this team, but some of those carries still need to go to number 5. I mean, those are two different cats when they carry the football. And Bijan needs to get more than 16 touches in a football game. Now, I'm not saying you need to give him 35, 40 touches in a game, but you're trying to win the game, okay? You're trying to win the football game. 16's not enough. You need to go ahead and give that guy 24, 25 carries. And if it takes you 30, give him 30. You don't need to be sharing that. There's no reason for him to be sharing any carries and all that stuff. I mean, we know how tough Roschon is, but my goodness, figure that deal out.
Yeah, I thought that when they went for the 4th down with Rojo in the Wildcat.
Did you know where it was going?
Brutal.
You know what was happening there? Was there anything different than they do? They still play.
Oh, that was brutal.
Coaches still have that ego. If we can't get a half a yard, then we don't deserve to win the game stuff. No. Those guys on the other side, they lift weights. They do all the same things that your guys do. You know what I mean? They play the game. They watch film. They understand the minute you turn and he's going one direction, that's where he's going, and everybody is headed that way. That whole entire team on that 4th down play, they came flying up to stop him for a loss on that.
Yeah, and you got to give it to Tech. The adjustments that they made in the second half defensively really affected the Longhorns because you saw a lot of 3-and-outs in the second half. You saw a lot of not getting, those 4th downs where you should have been getting them. The ball could have been in Bijan Robinson's hands. It
Absolutely.
wasn't. I thought Hudson Card played a hell of a game. That pass on 3rd down that Casey came where he stepped up in the pocket and made that.
That was really great awareness.
That was a really great awareness because we always talk about Hudson Card always getting happy feet, always escaping when he shouldn't, when he should just stay comfortable in the pocket and maybe take a hit and, make one of those throws down the field. He did that today, but then there were just moments where, the play calling was very questionable, but we already got our first caller today. We're going to the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. Dwayne, we got Dwayne on the line. Dwayne, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man.
man.
That's good. Hey, Bucky, I'm just say this. I think we had a team thinking they were playing a team just a notch above UT San Antonio. I think we had a coach thinking, I'll save my best players by not running Bijan and beat this Tech team because they're not really that good. They're one of the bottom 3 teams in the Big 12, and they got beat. The same way they got beat, lost 7 games last year, losing in the 4th quarter and overtime. That's how they lost to Alabama. And that's how they lost to this team. How are they much better than they were last year? Just explain that to me.
Well,
Evers don't play defense.
No.
Evers don't play defense. How are they better than they were last year?
Well, I thought, you can make the excuse of the 4 downs and all that other stuff, and they had too many. As I said, you're allowed to stop them. That's what you're supposed to do on defense. You're supposed to stop those 4th down plays. They shouldn't be getting 6 of 8 4th down plays. That's on you. That's not on anybody else. That's on your defense right there. And I thought Hudson Card did a good job. I just don't think Bijan carries the ball enough. And once again, I'm not a big fan of the pistol where the guy lines up right behind the quarterback because he's either going to take a step to the right or he's going to take one to the left, and then he's going there. But, and the same thing with the Wildcat. As soon as he steps that way, they don't do very much off of that Wildcat. As soon as he takes a step to the direction, generally that's where he's going. And that's where you get into that, we can get a yard. If we don't get a yard, guess what? We don't deserve to win. Well, guess what? You don't deserve to win because you can't get a yard.
Yeah, absolutely. And 16 touches, that's not enough.
No, it's not enough for that guy.
17 touches total. He had 1 catch. He needs to at least be getting, at this point, since we're in the Big 12, 25 to 28 catches. 28 touches, I mean.
Well, yeah, for
whether
sure.
that's catches or rushing the ball, add that up. And
what are you saving that guy for? I don't know if you're underestimating a team, but you knew they had a bunch of seniors on defense. I don't know what you're underestimating, but
you were controlling the game in the first half. You were running everything. You brought that diamond formation out. Keelan Robinson had that nice touchdown on the first drive.
Absolutely.
Then we never heard of him again. We didn't hear Keelan Robinson for the rest of the game. No, I didn't. So why aren't you going back to that? Why aren't you playing out of that stuff that made you successful? If it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. Like Bijan Robinson was dominant, 46-yard runs, 2 touchdowns, and then all of a sudden, we just start slowing down. And was that because we were in a lead?
I don't know, but that's a lead that should have grown. I mean, that's a team. You lost to that quarterback. I mean, he had a lot of heart today too, but he's not that good. I'm just
it made him look like Randall Cunningham today.
Yes, he did. You made him look a lot better than he was, for sure. And your secondary started to come back to haunt you again too. A couple missed tackles, but it wasn't so much the missed tackles. It was the foul. I mean, they had one guy 13 balls. I don't have anybody on Texas should be catching 13 balls.
Yeah, Price, 13 catches.
Wow. I mean, Jordan Whittington, I thought, was having one of the better games he's had. I think he's really starting to do some nice things, Zay. He's starting to be that guy that can cross the field and make some plays for you. Start to look for him a little bit more. It's all about number 8 and trying to get him the ball so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know when he got hurt. I didn't. When did he get hurt? Was this a
Jordan Whittington?
Yeah, not Jordan Whittington.
Xavier Worthy.
When did Xavier get hurt?
He got hurt early in the first half.
He didn't play in the second half
at all.
I don't believe so. They started out with Kane coming out in the second half.
Yeah, and that's a big deal because everybody knows we can't go deep anyway.
Yeah, I mean, spend so much time going deep. I mean, I'm always thinking Xavier Worthy can catch balls at 15 and 18 and curl routes and things like that. I mean,
and he had that one drop too.
He had another drop.
He had another drop. It was a big time drop. But let's go to the Vaqueros Cafe Cantina hotline. We got Jake on the line. Jake, what's happening, man?
Hey guys, how are y'all?
Doing good, Jake.
Brother.
Man, I gotta say this is probably one of the most frustrating losses in the recent years. I just saw a team that looked like they just didn't want it enough today, and I think that's my biggest problem. You know, we had the issues with Overshown missing in the first half, Worthy's gone the second half, first half, and I just don't understand the call going into overtime to run the ball when we just threw the ball 3 times, get it downfield, march downfield, kick the field goal. I just cannot understand why we just we run it when it hadn't been working all second half.
You know what? There's comes a time when you got a team down by 10 and 14 points. That's where you're supposed to just crush them into the ground. That's when you start talking about building your culture. Building your culture is not having a 10-point lead and just sitting back and hoping you can hold on to a 10-point lead. With that defense, with the defense is giving up 4th down play 6 out of 8 fourth. No, you need to build on that. So you can't be conservative. And to me, conservative play calling to me is not getting Bijan the ball or having that guy on the sideline. And once again, Love, Roshan, they're 2 different types of players. One can be your heart and soul and still be tough enough, but that guy is a cut above. 3 extra carries, you don't know what that guy's going to do with the football, Zay. You don't know what I'm saying? You don't know what Bijan's going to do, give him 4 extra carries.
Yeah,
you guys liable to take it to the house.
Yeah, and I don't agree with Jake. Jake, thanks for calling because I think you want the ball in Bijan Robinson's hands.
Oh, yeah.
It's just an unfortunate moment from a great player who happened to fumble at a really clutch time. That's very uncharacteristic from Bijan Robinson. I know national media will be talking about it, and you'll be seeing that highlight all over the four-letter network.
That was a nice tackle, head on ball.
Yeah, head on ball. Mayweather with a hell of a tackle, the 6-year senior. I know it probably feels good for him, and it happens. I don't think Bijan Robinson needs to go playmaker Omar Epps and having to hold on to the football on the 40 acres all week.
No, yeah, Julie, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like you.
All the students hit the ball out of his hands.
That doesn't sound like you.
Hey, if you are proven like Bijan Robinson is, then you don't need that playmaker type moment. I think he's good. It was just unfortunate, especially with the game he was having, like 16 carries, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a solid game. We got to get him the ball more. It doesn't matter how we get him the ball. Just put the ball in his hands.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. They were doing a lot of stuff early. Like everything good happened in the first half for the Longhorns offensively.
They need to get screens to him, dump off screens. Everybody else does it to you.
Yeah, that's Jatavion Sanders, those quick passes to him. That was very Travis Kelce-like for what the Kansas City Chiefs do with Travis Kelce, and that was working. Then all that stuff stopped. And then you saw in the second half toward the end of the game where Jatavion Sanders and Sark are barking at each other, which I'm like, Jatavion, man, you're a freshman, so I get it. You're probably very PO with how the offense has been going in the second half. Steve Sarkisian also, but we got to get on the same page, and Quinn Ewers being out doesn't help. Xavier Worthy, getting hurt doesn't help, but overall,
you still got enough
they got to win that game.
Yeah, you still got enough players. Once again, if you're ever up by 10 or 14 on that group, this is where you take that crowd out of it. The quarterback's going to give you the ball. Now, I mean, he gave it to you once. I mean, there were 3 turnovers in that game. His interception, Hudson's interception early was a bad interception.
That was a bad play.
That was a bad play by him. Bijan's fumble, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, it happens, but damn, don't fumble the ball. That's crucial time. I mean, what can you say? I mean, I've seen guys fumble. I had enough guys that have had fumbles, but you know what? It's just bad. It just happens. That guy had head on the ball. You know what I mean? But give him more carries. Give him more opportunities to make more big plays for you. 16 carries for him? What are they saving him? What is the deal with what Sark's trying to save him for?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to win games. You got to win. That's the start of the Big 12.
Especially when Xavier Worthy gets hurt.
Yeah, he needs to be touching the ball even more.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. We got Ryan on the phone. Ryan, what's happening, man?
Hey, my fellas. I'm calling here live, Bucky, from the Bands of America at Kelly Reef Stadium supporting the LT Band. We need you out here conducting, brother.
I need to be out there conducting. I should have been conducting last night.
I know. I admittedly, guys, I can't not call you guys. I didn't see the game because I've been here today, but I've been watching, talking to my knuckleheads, knucklehead friends, looking at the box scores and stuff. I'm not going to pretend like I saw the details, but I'll tell you this. The things that stood out to me, you're up 31-17. You guys have touched on this, and you can't put that game away. Like, that's a big problem. That is a very, very big problem for Sark, and I promise you this, that guy will not get sleep tonight. He will not get an ounce of sleep tonight because he let that go. It's on him. It's 100% on him, and he knows that. He would be the first one to say that. I agree with you, Bucky. I looked at the box score again. I see 16 carries for 101 yards. Why in the world wasn't it 26 carries
for
180 yards? And I don't – listen – Xavier Worthy has been underwhelming thus far this season, and that's not a knock on the kid. He's just been underwhelming compared to what we saw him as a freshman.
It's hard to repeat what he did last year, yeah.
Why was his absence such a – Whittington has been the guy this year, Mr. Consistency, so I'm scratching my head. I've got it on tape. I'm going to watch it tonight. But I'll tell you this, guys, and I'll hang up and listen to you, but I'll tell you this. For Sark, against top 25 teams and on the road, he is atrocious, and you all know this. He has to win the next 2 games. You cannot go in to that OU game 1-1. You absolutely, positively cannot. He has to win those next 2 games because if he doesn't, he's going to lose this crowd, and he damn might lose this team too. That is a must-2 wins for him because one of them's at home and one of them's on the road. West Virginia ain't very good, but they're darn physical.
Yeah,
they have to win those 2 games. And I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you. They've got a pretty good defense at West Virginia right now, and the kid at quarterback threw the ball pretty well in that game, but
JT Daniels,
but I like I said, you have to put teams away, and if you're up 14, that very easily should be 2 more touchdowns. That's how you do. That's how we're talking about building culture. I think they're building a lot of things. I didn't like the way the defense was starting to get tired in the second half, Zay.
Right.
And because they didn't get off the field, but once again, you can get yourself off the field. That's nobody's fault but you. You know what I mean? You're allowed to make a stop on 4th down, so that's not an excuse for looking a little tired. And secondary play, they've been good these first couple games, but that stuff came back to haunt you. And I can't let anybody get 13 catches on me. And I do like the way Jordan Whittington's playing. He's not being real flashy, Zay, but when he's coming across the middle making those catches, they need to find more ways to get him the ball instead of throwing them bombs. Forget them bombs.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think you just got to get those, nice, deep slant routes that what Hudson Card is very comfortable with, what we saw today. I mean, that 19 seconds, 21 seconds for 46 yards to get
that was incredible.
Auburn in that situation. Like, you got to give kudos to Hudson Card and what he did. And, with what our last caller just said, appreciate you for calling. I don't think we're quite there yet where Sark is going to lose the team because you got to understand that Quinn Ewers still isn't playing. We know what Quinn Ewers can bring to this team. We saw what he did in that first quarter against Alabama. So as good as Hudson Card played today, there's a whole nother level that I think this offense could get to, even if somebody like Xavier Worthy goes out, because even with Hudson Card, we're still limited in ways. And I feel like that's what you saw in the second half. There was just certain play calling. And I don't know if Sark got comfortable with the lead.
I just think he just thinks there are certain plays he doesn't feel comfortable that Hudson can do. He's not, he says all the right things, or I think he can do this. I think he can do that. But I don't think he play calls that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He wants to tell us that, oh, no, Hudson can do this and he can do that, but he doesn't give him that opportunity to do it. I just don't think he feels that comfortable still with certain passes that he'll throw to him. But there's those intermediate balls where that kid can flat out throw him. He did it today. And taking off and running on that bad wheel, that one run was something now. I mean, he planted on that bad foot and made that cut and went down on the right side. I thought that was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty gutsy effort by him. But people can stop with his ankle hurts gutsy. I mean, that guy's just a tough guy. I mean, just
he's
playing
got
like
some moxie.
Yeah, he's like a basketball player that plays on a sprained ankle. You just go play.
Yeah.
You don't half the time you don't even feel it anymore. And he's got that to him. So you just got to trust that certain things that you would trust in him if he was 100%, you still got to trust in him now. And you've got that kind of talent. And now I'm starting to look at these wide receivers, and there's a couple guys just making plays all over. So you got to trust in them. It can't always be trying to throw them bombs. And I mean, people know you're going to trying to get the ball to Xavier Worthy. Now he's got to get more consistent with catching the ball too. I mean, those little dropsies are, I've seen that before at this place.
Yeah,
when that starts to happen.
And he had that one touchdown where you're like, okay, finally, he touched the end zone, and maybe that could get him out of his head and get some confidence, for him going. But
as much as they how they battle against Alabama, they're still not. They're mentally tough. No, they're not mentally tough. You're up by 7. You're up by 14 points. At that place, you should be foaming at the mouth trying to get another touchdown and make it 21 or 28. That's what you should be doing. And as a play caller, you should be foaming at the mouth as the head coach to get 28, go up by 28. You're not supposed to say, okay, 14 is good enough. Now we can just hang in here and do some basic thing, turn the ball around and hand it to Bijan. No, what's our best stuff? Let's continue to give them our best stuff so we can score points.
Yeah, and
I don't know if he gave them the best stuff.
I don't think so either. And now the scouting report for every other Big 12 team is, okay, if we go fast pace on this Texas defense, they won't be able to keep up. They're going to get fatigued. They're going to start missing tackles. And this secondary definitely took a step back today.
They did.
Because, Donovan Smith, he was using those tight ends, throwing the ball in the middle of the field. And then you saw Thompson, and then you saw Brooks start getting going on the run game and them running out of the flats and whatnot. And
well, they were going to, I heard Rod talk about Texas Tech really pressuring the linebackers. I mean, they pressured the linebackers. It didn't matter. They did it in the first half. They did it in the second half. They didn't care who was playing that linebacker. Agent Zero, once he came in, they were doing the same thing.
Yeah, the defense got worse with DeMarvion Overshown when he came in the game.
Yeah,
the defense got worse.
They didn't stop because he came into the game. They still went after the linebackers with the running backs. That didn't stop them from doing that.
We're going to take a quick break. This is the Longhorn post-game show. The Texas Longhorns take their first L in the Big 12 against the Red Raiders, 37-34. I'm joined by Bucky Godbolt. I'm Isiah Collier. This is the Horn, 104.9, 101.9, AM 1260. We'll be back.
Longhorns football is in full swing, and Specs is here to get you geared up for game day. Shop lower prices on all your favorites and expand your lineup with a huge selection of world-class wines, spirits, beers, and gourmet foods. Whether you're stocking up for a tantalizing tailgate or a worthy watch party, Specs has the goods to make game day great. When it comes to savings, nobody helps you bring home the win like Specs. The fun starts here.
Football is back. Score big right now at Round Rock Honda, Round Rock Toyota, Round Rock Hyundai, and Round Rock Genesis. We have a nice selection of new and used vehicles that will look amazing as you pull into a stadium parking lot. That's Round Rock Auto Group with great dealerships like Round Rock Genesis, Exit 254, I-35, and RoundRockHyundai.com.
The Austin Business Journal says home sales are down an astonishing 32% or more from this time last year. The market hasn't taken this kind of hit in years. Need to sell? Go with the number one, Chris Waters, the only guy I'd trust to sell my home. He's got the database and tens of thousands of people ready to buy your home. You can even pick your move date. That is, stay in your home after you've sold it. You get your money so you can then close on your dream home. No long-term contracts, cancel anytime. Folks love Christopher Waters, like Paul and Linda and and Maynard, who found their perfect land in East Texas for their family. They were crazy excited about moving right away. The team to call, Christopher Waters. Their home sold in days for thousands over the asking price, and they can do the same for you too. Christopher Waters guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and a deadline, or he'll buy it from you for cash. Get started now at ChristopherWaters.com. That's Christopher Waters with 2 T's.com. And Christopher is like a bridge over troubled waters with 2 T's. That's ChristopherWaters.com.
Hey, it's Aaron Hogan for QC Kinetics. Summer's all but over, but for too many of you, that joint pain is still there. Well, it's time to do something about it. I want you to call our friends at QC Kinetics. You've put it off too long. Now is the time for you or that loved one in your life to get real, lasting relief from chronic pain. Whether it's in your knees, your back, your shoulder, or your hips, QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments. There's no drugs, there's no downtime, no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair the damaged joint tissue. QC Kinetics is the leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. So many people here in Central Texas have done it, and they're once again living their lives to the fullest and living pain-free. Stop assuming the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Simply call QC Kinetics today. For that loved one in your life, call for them. Stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Simple phone number 512-593-4303. That's 512-593-4303. QC Kinetics has a location in Austin and in Round Rock. 512-593-4303.
The Texas Postgame Show on the Austin Radio Network. To give your thoughts on the game, call 512-447-3776. You can also text the show at 337-3776 on the Specs text line.
Welcome back to the Longhorn postgame show. The Horns go down 37-34 in overtime in Lubbock. This is the Horn, 104.9, 101.9, AM 1260. We're also on our sister station, Coke FM, 99.3, 99.8, Thorndale, Austin. I'm joined by Longhorn legendary coach Bucky Godbolt. Corey Guidry is behind the glass. I am Zay Collier, and Buck. When the defense is on the field for over 100 plays and your offense only gets 60-something and that defense gives up 6 of 8 fourth down conversions, you're lucky to be only losing by 3 points.
Yeah, and you're right about that, Zay. It could have been worse, but for me it's the fact that this group has to learn. They're still in that learning process of, what this head coach would like for them to be. I think they're more physical. I'm not saying they weren't physical in this football game, because that Tech defense had a lot of seniors playing on it, and I thought they were physical enough. But there comes a mindset with being when you want to put your foot on somebody's throat. There's a mindset to that. It's not about how much you can lift and how good you look and how fast you are. It's just a mindset. Hey, we're up 14. We need to go ahead and pour it on coach. No. Don't give us that play. Give me something that's going to let us score some more. This is seeming conservative, so I think your team played that way too. And maybe I'm making more out of it than I need to about the kid only getting 16 rushes. I know I would if I was coaching running backs, I would wear his ass out, because I'm trying to win the game. I'm not trying to worry about how he's going to feel or is he going to be good later on when you play OU. I'm not worried about 2 weeks from now, in the showdown. I'm not worried about what's going to happen up in Dallas. I'm worried about what's happening in Lubbock. And if that guy had to touch that ball 35 times, give it to him. We need to win the game. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. You don't know if he is safe in Bijan Robinson or if Steve Sarkisian has any PTSD from last year when the Horns went to Fort Worth. Yeah, when Horns went to Fort Worth and they gave Bijan Robinson the ball over 30-something times, and his body kind of wore down, and you didn't have him for the full season in 2021. And
I'll take it that he's a year older and he's a year stronger, and he can take that, because that guy is 200. He's not 210 pounds. He's 220 pounds. He's not a little running back coming out of high school at 185. That guy's 2 1/4. That guy can take a pounding. I mean, you see in the way he's breaking tackles and spinning and everything else. You'll find out. Give him those carries. Let us all find out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you said, Zay, if you give it to him 26 times, he's always a move away from breaking something big. Unfortunate that he fumbled the ball. He doesn't put it on the ground that often. got himself out of place with the little spin move, and the guy got his head right on the ball. I mean, that's stuff that happens. That's not because he's a fumbler. He's not a chronic fumbler. I mean, he makes all kinds of moves and spins and everything else, and he still doesn't fumble the ball. But dude, when you got this group down, when you got them down at home by 10 or 14, it should be, here you go. You're about to get it now.
Yeah, it was 14 at one point, 31 to 17, and you just got to keep pushing the gas pedal, man.
Somebody wants to know, Zay, if I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid.
This is why I wasn't, because for one, the injuries are a part of the game.
Absolutely.
The caller that talked about, Steve Sarkisian maybe losing this team and whatnot. No. Quinn Ewers, when he comes back, that's going to give everybody different life. And I'm not taking anything away from Hudson Card. Hudson Card, it was a big reason why we were even in the game with his play, except for that one interception.
Correct.
Other than that, from him scrambling, from him stepping up in the pocket and, being comfortable and making throws down the field, whether it's that one to Tyreek Milton to put him in field goal position to go into overtime.
That was a nice pass and a great, fantastic catch on the sideline.
Man. Yeah, get Tyreek Milton more involved. Like, clearly he could catch the ball. I don't know if he's all there in the playbook.
I just want to know if, when you're the head coach, are you just saying it to be saying it, that he can do all these things, but you really don't?
You talking about Bijan Robinson?
No, I'm talking about the quarterback. I mean, You're saying, oh, no, he can make all the throws. He can do all these things. But in your mind, do you really feel like he really can because of the way you're calling plays?
Right. And then one situation that was weird that I already brought up was when they called the timeout and Sark was going ballistic on the sideline and Jatavion Sanders was also going ballistic in the game. And it's like, man, when Xavier Worthy went out, was there just that much confusion on the offensive end to where you can't execute the way you're supposed to? Because, again, the first half, everything's clicking. You're putting up numbers. Keelan Robinson's getting involved. Bijan's going to the house. Everybody's getting Hudson.
Are you
looks
thinking
good.
Maybe that gets in the head of the head coach, too? Because that guy is missing all of a sudden?
Yeah. Just, now he has to dial it back again. It's just like, but as a head coach, you have to be prepared for that going into the game, so it shouldn't. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It should be, okay, if Zay Worthy gets hurt, then Ajay Hall, who came in and played pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He had a couple catches.
Yeah, had a couple catches. Then bring him in, and let's keep this thing rolling. Hopefully we have faith in these guys to get it done. But then that even makes it more apparent to give the ball to Bijan Robinson. Now that another playmaker's out, give it to the playmaker who's in the game. And
the one touchdown he scored was on a counter where both the tackle and the guard pulled.
You've been asking for that counter.
And they gave him a two-way go, and the first guy kicked the guy out. The other big guy went right inside. He ran inside with him. They need to give him more goes. I'm not into that come downhill on one cut. I mean, you don't have the offensive line. You're not the Denver Broncos. You know what I'm saying, with Terrell Davis going one cut and downhill. You need to give him a couple different ones.
One thing that kind of baffles me, Buck, and maybe you could answer this, but the fact that Bijan only had one reception, especially when you talk about Hudson, and maybe he's not the downfield explosive play threat that maybe Quinn is. Why not give Bijan, some short passes, whether it's a Texas route or some swing routes? Use him kind of like Alabama used Gibbs against us. Get him in open space, and let him make plays like that. For him to only have one reception that's odd to me.
I thought for sure that I'd see actually this year more regular old screens where they come, the defense is coming, you drop it over their head, your offensive linemen are downfield, and let that kid set up some blocks. That's what I mean by two-way goes. Gives him an opportunity to really be out there and clear. I mean, everybody talks about being out there in space. You're not that in space. There's people around your ass. You're not just by yourself. There are other people there. But if you give him some guys out in front of him a little bit just to get in the way, he really can make it hard on guys trying to make clean tackles on him. Hell, they don't make clean tackles when they got him faced up. So he needs to get more screens, more little swing screens. I think they did it in Louisiana. The first game they had a couple of little swing screens where the quarterback dropped back, dumped it off to him, and he just took off. If he gets the edge, he's already got an edge on you if he gets to the corner.
Yeah.
I mean that, and there was nothing about Texas Tech that their running backs. All we could hear about how good those guys weren't all that. I mean, come on, they made the quarterback look so good.
Yeah.
Just so good. He took two guys from the 3-yard line and took them on a ride into the end zone.
He's big. He's a big brother. I mean,
he did take him for a ride.
His percentage wasn't the best. I mean, 38 completions, 56 attempts. We were talking about all week. We want him to throw it that much. If he throws it that much, that means that there's probably some turnovers forced, but the Horns couldn't force any turnovers on this guy.
One guy had 13 catches. How the hell is that going to happen?
Yeah, it seemed like
13 catches?
They only had about 96, 98 yards, so it wasn't going for much. But the way that Smith was utilizing his tight ends and, now then he started getting his running backs involved, just the defense, they were on the field way too long, and the scheme just wasn't good. The defense really took a step back this week. So let's go to the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. We got Jeff on the line. Jeff, what's happening, man?
Hey, guys. I think it's now time to stop saying that Sark is some type of offensive genius because I think it's all on him today, and here's why. You realize they took the ball, they went 3 plays and scored a touchdown. From that point on, they ran 57 offensive plays the rest of the game. That's unbelievable. But, Bucky, as a coach, I think momentum, especially in a road game, in a crowd, in a hostile environment like that, is really important. When Tech came out and, in my opinion, stupidly went for it on 4th down on their first drive, down by 10 to start the second half in their own territory, and we stopped them, Sark should have realized, I got a chance now. I'm going to drive this down their throat and go and score a touchdown. We got to get 7 points, go up 17, and the game is completely different at that point. Joey McGuire then is scared to death because I think it was the wrong call for him to go for it in that situation because it was only 10 points at that point.
Right.
But for the series of plays that they ran on that series and then to go for it yourself with the wildcat formation after it got stuffed on 3rd down, that was inexcusable. I think my opinion is I sat there, I said, game's lost there. I'm going down, kicking the field goal, even though we got up 14. I just thought, you know what, the momentum is he had his chance there, and that was the ball game, in my opinion.
Watch Tom Herman do that with Sam Ehlinger, put him back there. Those 4th and 3rd downs. You knew exactly what was coming and where he was going. As soon as you snap it to him from back there, as soon as he took his first step, there was no counter to it. He was going right to that off tackle or wherever that was going to be. And it's getting that way too now with Roschon in the backfield. If they're not going to throw or come through one of those jet sweeps off of that where he just slides it up to somebody else in motion, once again, people are out there, Zay, that are lifting weights and doing the same thing and watching film. They get it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just became so predictable in the second half, and it makes you wonder. You go back and watch the first half. They're running the diamond set. Keelan Robinson's getting involved. Xavier Worthy gets his first touchdown. They're willing and dealing. Bijan Robinson's getting the ball. And then the second half, it just stops. I got to go back and watch the game. I don't know how much Coach McGuire adjusted, but it shouldn't matter.
No.
Like the last caller just said, we had them on the ropes in that game, and he should have been terrified, especially for going all those risky-ass 4th down calls. That's risky. You got to have some serious balls to coach the way you did for Coach McGuire, especially his first year coaching in this, to them, rivalry game. You saw how they
I watched him
the
last
field.
week against NC State, and I used his timeouts the right way. And I said, this is a young guy a young coach into major college football that's going to make some mistakes that are going to be costly. And I thought today, I said, some of these 4th down go for it's are gonna cost him instead of kicking for 3. Well, hell, he kept making them.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, is he gonna make them all?
But that's how you have to beat Texas if you're a team like Texas Tech. You're gonna have to take those risks because at the end of the day, Texas has the better athletes. They do. That's why this loss is so frustrating. We all know that. That coaching staff, they did not do a good game plan in that second half, offensively and defensively. On the field way too long, and a big reason is because the offense was just so simple in the play calling, and that's not going to work.
No.
Hopefully Quinn Ewers could come back and that expands, but I keep on saying with that, it's not Hudson Card's fault.
No.
Hudson Card had a hell of a game, showed some serious moxie, made some big plays, and I think that Steve Sarkisian needs to put more confidence in Hudson Card to make some throws that I think he can make in those critical situations where you're doing the freaking Wildcat instead.
Well, you're going to have to. I know get ready to take a quick break. I know he's going to have to do it against West Virginia's defense. He's going to have to throw everything he can out there, and if Quinn's not ready to play, and he does end up there try to get him ready to play against Oklahoma, then you're going to have to let Hudson Card do the things that you say he can do, but you won't let him actually do them. You're going to have to let him do that because this West Virginia team has a pretty good defense, too.
Yeah, they do, and they've had a lot of time to rest playing on a Thursday night, and they were definitely watching this game today. So we're going to take a quick break, joined by Bucky Godbolt. I'm Zay Collier. Corey Guidry's behind the glass. This is the Longhorn post-game show. The Horns go down 37-34 against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. This is the Horn, 104.9, 101.9, AM 1260. We're on Coke FM, 99.3, 98.5, Thorndale, Austin. We'll be back.
KTXX-FM, HD1 and HD3 VK, KTAE-AM Elgin, K270CO Round Rock, KOKE-FM, Thorndale, Austin, K253-AM Sunset Valley.
College football is back, so grab your friends in a cold, refreshing Dos Equis lager. Dos Equis is a golden Pilsner-style beer perfect for enjoying with your friends on game day. Make the most of your college football game day enjoyment with a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis in your hand and your friends by your side. Just look for the Dos Equis display wherever you load up for tailgating or buy a pack wherever you buy your game day beer and snacks. Dos Equis, a proud sponsor of college football. Get a dose. Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly.
Copyright 2022, imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hey, it's Aaron Hogan. If you live in Austin or Central Texas, you know buying a home here is a competitive sport. And just like in sports, I can tell you this, the best mortgage coach out there is my friend John McClellan and Supreme Lending. John will give you the edge you need in a competitive real estate market like we have here. Realtors all over Austin know him, they trust him, and they trust Supreme Lending. They have for years. A Supreme Lending approval letter gives you an advantage and will make the difference on getting that winning bid on the new home of your dreams. With all the recent rate changes, more important than ever to hire the best. John McClellan is the only lender I trust and recommend for my home and yours. He and his entire team are local Austinites, and they're accountable to the neighbors they serve. That's you. They'll fight to get you approved on the right loan, on time, and at competitive terms. So if you're in the market, make sure you give yourself the Supreme Lending edge and call John, 512-361-4717. That's 512-361-4717, or go to johnmcclellan.com. That's John, MCCLELLAN.com, johnmcclellan.com. John McClellan, folks, best mortgage coach in Central Texas.
License number 2077768, 3520 Executive Center Drive, Austin, Texas.
You may have heard about rising interest rates everywhere else, but at Diamonds Direct, we're helping you start your forever with zero interest rates. Get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is known for and enjoy zero interest financing for 5 years on any purchase. At Diamonds Direct, we believe now more than ever you need to make your money go farther, and we're making it happen with this extraordinary limited time offer. Get that $8,000 designer ring for just over $133 a month. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get details and more now at diamondsdirect.com and approved credit.
Hey, it's Aaron Hogan, Pluckers and the Horn. Well, we're looking for our wingmen. That's right, every Thursday, Dave, Paul from Pluckers and I will make our picks on the biggest matchups of the college football week. We'll also invite our wingmen winners to a special lunch with Craig Way, Jeff Howe, and myself. If I made the most correct picks head-to-head with Dave, the wingmen receive appetizers, wings, beer, and a Bud Light prize pack. If Dave wins, it's just the appetizers and the Bud Light prize pack. Register to be a wingman today at hornfm.com, then listen every Thursday at 9:05 to hear the picks. Beat the pluck with the Horn and Pluckers.
This is Chad and Dr. Slaughter from Sinus and Snoring Specialist. Dr. Slaughter, you called me a mouth breather the day you met me. Talk to me about mouth breathing. Is it normal?
It is definitely not normal. It's all the rage right now, even for people to try to tape their mouth to force themselves into nasal breathing. Look, nasal breathing humidifies and filters and warms the air, and that's the right way to go. But if you're mouth breathing, there's a reason, and we should evaluate the nasal airway and get that corrected rather than literally putting a Band-Aid on the problem.
So you're saying a CPAP machine by the bed is all right. Tape by the bed to tape your mouth shut, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, just save the taping for your boxes.
All right, get it taken care of whether you're a mouth breather or not. Call and set it up today, 512-601-0303 or sinussnoringent.com. Don't tape your mouth shut. Take yourself to Sinus and Snoring Specialists, 512-601-0303 or go to sinussnoringent.com. Sinus and Snoring Specialists. Feel clear, rested, and healthy.
We all have a passion. For some, it's grilling, two-stepping, or patio sipping. At Premier Glass Austin, their passion is creating beautiful, expertly crafted frameless glass showers. When you're looking to upgrade your outdated shower or need the finishing touch for your bathroom remodel, Premier Glass Austin brings your vision to life. There's a reason why Premier Glass Austin is the top-rated shower door company in Austin. It's because they've specialized in their passion for over 15 years. Schedule your in-home consultation today at premierglassaustin.com. premierglassaustin.com.
The Texas Postgame Show on the Austin Radio Network. To give your thoughts on the game, call 512-447-3776. You can also text the show at 337-3776 on the Specs text line.
Welcome back to the Horn Post-Game Show. The Texas Longhorns go down in Lubbock, 37-34. I am joined by Longhorn legendary coach Bucky Godbolt, Corey Guidry behind the glass. I am Zay Collier. From the Bijan fumble to over 100 plays Texas Tech ran offensively to Texas around 60-something to the 6 of 8 fourth down completes by Texas Tech. So many things to look at in this game. Bucky, what is one thing that you're definitely going to look at from here on out until next week against West Virginia?
Yeah, when I want to see what they're going to do with Bijan when it comes to, as Corey said, out of the backfield. You got to dump the ball off to him in those little swing screens. You got to give him every opportunity to already beat the perimeter and let him go out there and see if they can tackle him out there one-on-one or two-on-one or whatever it gets. He just needs more opportunities. And 16 touches from the tailback position, that's just not enough. He's just that good of a player. I mean, everybody, you hear everybody said he's one of the best. No, he's the best runner back in the nation. So give the best running back in the nation an opportunity, multiple times in multiple ways. And if swing screening him out or letting everybody come in and dumping it over their heads and have your offensive lineman downfield while you get a screen going, I mean, that's part of the offense. Those things still count. Those are still plays they call offensively for the head coach. 2 years, I don't think I've seen him throw a regular screen where everybody comes in and you float it over them. I mean, it's been 2 years now. I mean, isn't that still a part of football? I mean, even the most brilliant mind every once in a while will call a regular screen to the running back. He hadn't done it in 2 years. I don't believe I've ever seen a dump off over the top of guys blitzing or coming at you and the offensive lineman letting him go one way and Bijan being behind them and they giving him all kinds of ways to go.
Yeah, I would love to see Bijan Robinson in a screen situation where big old 78 Kelvin Banks is lead blocking, especially with his athleticism. But you got to mix it up. I think Coach Sarkisian, we were talking about on the break, but I think Coach Sarkisian is going to go back and look at this film and say, I think I need to have more confidence in Hudson Card. And who knows if Quinn Ewers will be ready next week. But still, I think Hudson Card doesn't get enough credit for some of the things he can do. He made some really good throws. If you exit out that interception that he threw, take that out the way, he had a very, very solid game where he stepped up. Corey mentioned this and on the break also and made that terrific pass against to Casey Kane, stepping up in the pocket on that third down or scrambling for yards, or that touchdown that gets Xavier Worthy.
Sanders is playing well, better and better. I mean, the more you throw at him, the better off you are.
Yeah, you got to get him the ball. They were doing that in the first half on some Travis Kelce type stuff, and then, again, just stopped in the second half. And
I didn't
that's going to be the
realize
question all week.
That he was such a runner. I know he's one of the best athletes the year that he came out, one of the best athletes in the country. Man, that guy can run with the ball. When he got the ball in his hands, he makes things happen. He doesn't run like a tight end.
Yeah, and when Xavier Worthy got hurt, that means let's give him the ball more. Let's
Sure.
give, all of our wide receivers just more attempts. Like Tyreek Milton, that catch that he had, and to put Burt Auburn in that situation to go into overtime.
What a kick by that guy.
Yeah, what a hell of a kick by Burt Auburn.
So that ball was on that right-hand hash. That's a tough kick for – I mean, he just slam dunked that one. These aren't easy kicks that – 40 was it 48? It's a long, it's a long
48 yards.
field goal now.
Yeah, it was. Let's go to the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. We got Tim on the line. Tim, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Tim.
Hey, what's up, Buck? Hey, so I think the thing, I know we're kind of getting to the end here, and I've heard a lot of different theories, right? I don't, it's Texas, though, right? We're going to jump ship and, hey, Sark did this and Sark did that, and he's not a genius anymore and blah, blah, blah. I mean, what I saw today was just one-on-ones, like the O-line. They kind of got exploited. I've seen some whiff blocks, guys running free on Hudson Card. It's hard to get a running game going when you got 2 or 3 in the backyard, even with Bijan. You know what I mean? Potential Heisman running back, you got to give him something. He makes a lot, but you got to give him something, So I feel like it wasn't anything,
Oh, yeah, it's always going to be the one-on-ones. It's going to be you versus that guy across from you or the double teams that when you get 2-on-1 on a guy, you have to destroy that guy. It's always going to be that, but you still got to be a fan. You still got to be a play caller that has confidence in the guy who's playing the position. But I mean, it wasn't Sark's fault that defense that looks like they're getting gas. I mean, everybody's going to go up tempo against them. They get those big guys coming to the sideline. Hell, to me, that's a longer run to go to the sideline and sit out a play than to run over there and have to run your ass back on the field. Just leave me out there. Don't call them. Don't keep bringing me out of the game. I might as well stay. I mean, they can't stay in for more than a couple plays. They're going. OU is going to run that speed offense, and they're going to run it at them hard if it's warm out.
Yeah, Keandre Coburn, Trevonte Sweat, Moro Jomo, Baron Sorrell. We didn't hear them guys' names much today.
No.
At all. Those guys didn't really do much. And you saw that Donovan Smith, even though he wasn't crazy accurate, he still was able to be comfortable and get in situations where they were able to get those fourth down, get those fourth down.
It took them a while. It took Texas a while to put pressure on him.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was sitting in the pocket. And you're supposed to be winning those battles against that offensive line.
Yeah, you have to. Going back to what my man just said about the O-line, I do agree, but we got to remember, this O-line's still really young.
Sure.
They're still really young. I think that you still have to put the ball in Bijan Robinson's hands to allow him to get going because that's your best bet in this situation. Remember, Quinn Ewers not there, even though Hudson Card play well. Xavier Worthy gets hurt. There's clearly confusion on the offense when we see Steve Sarkisian calling timeouts and Jatavion Sanders going crazy, both of them going ballistic because there's confusion. So they got to, iron those wrinkles out this week.
Absolutely,
for sure.
dude.
It's only going to get tougher.
That one touchdown run that Bijan had down the sideline when he got pushed. I coached guys that still, as good as they were, would get pushed out of bounds right there. They would have never been able to keep their balance there. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a fantastic run.
You have to keep giving them the ball, man.
That's right, because he's gonna pull that rabbit out of his hat.
Maybe not in the Wildcat though.
No, keep that. Y'all can keep that, man. You can keep that standing right behind the quarterback, depending on which way the quarterback goes. Unless you're going to counter off that, actually counter and pull guys going the other direction and helping them out that way. But that Wildcat, one step over, and here you go. You're going right downhill. Very seldom do you bounce that outside. And they used to need to go ahead and use some of those jet sweeps. Why? Jordan Whittington can carry the ball, can he not?
Yeah, he can.
'Cause he reminds me of a running back when he catches the ball.
Keelan Robinson, he had that one touchdown, never heard of him again. Wow, I don't get that. He's one of the fastest players on the team. Did he get in the doghouse? Somebody tell me if something happened.
That dude should be out of the doghouse by now. It's been a year.
But still, he got a touchdown. And then all of a sudden, he didn't touch the ball for the rest of the game. It's just things like that are very questionable. Let's go to the Vaqueros Cafe Cantina hotline. We got Big Worm on the line. Big Worm, what's good?
Up, man?
Hey, hello. First of all, hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
I got to call you. I got to call you Coach because that's what you are.
There you go. Thank you.
And Isiah, glad to speak with y'all, but I got 3 quick points and I'm gonna get off.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
The first thing the team has to realize, they're Texas. Everybody hates Texas. So they're going to play you hard every play. I've seen this for the last year and a half. They haven't realized that they're Texas. So you get their best. Just like how Texas played against Alabama, Alabama gets that every week. They have to realize that. The second thing, the offense, I really can't complain about them too much. I come from a wishbone offense growing up. If we have it, they don't have it. Defense is resting. So when they counter, they give us the ball right back because they're fresh.
There you go.
Now, the defense, the D coordinator. I don't understand this. If it's 3rd and 5 and you drop your corners like an 8 to 10 yard cushion, you're giving them the first down, and you can't get any stops. Their mid-third quarter and fourth quarter adjustments are non-existent on offense and defense. I mean, if you're going to give up a 10-yard cushion, they only need 5 for the first. What's the use of playing, this lineup at least fake that you're going to run man or something? So,
well, this is the worst. This is the worst game they've played the entire year. That defense. I mean, I got to give it to those guys defensively. I think they've been playing pretty well. Today was just that day, but they don't get a pass because they had, because we're saying that they had their worst day. They get a pass. No, because you don't want to see it happen again next week. But I got to believe this. This was their worst. This is the worst we've seen them play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they were on the field for a very long time, but still, I didn't think the linebackers played too well.
No.
When you allow Donovan Smith, and they did give up those cushions, 13 receptions for for my man Price. Like, that's just way too many. I thought the tight ends really got going through the middle for Texas Tech, and Donovan Smith, he made plays. We've been talking about all week.
Put it in his hands. Well, they did.
They absolutely did, and he made plays. And I don't know if this was, the defensive coordinators, this staff, and this team taking this offense for granted. Like, oh, he's going to make a mistake. It's going to come to us. But you got to take it. Like, you got to go get it. He's not going to give it to you. They're going to play their best game because you are the University of Texas. You know that you're not going to have this matchup much longer because they're going to the SEC and they're sticking around, so they're bitter. And you saw Coach McGuire coach like that. That's how you could go 6 of 8 on 4th down, because you're confident and you got nothing to lose. In his mind, he has nothing to lose.
And his team is confident they're going to get a yard. Whereas I'm every time I look up and I'm seeing that pistol deal or whatever, Wildcat, I'm like, I don't feel that. I know how tough Roschon Johnson is. I know how tough he is for a yard, but I don't. When they get in that, when they line up in that deal,
it becomes predictable.
It's just, I look at them going, man, they're about to rally to wherever his first step is. That's where 11 guys will run into, and it's just, it is. It's just pretty predictable unless you're doing something else off of that, and they haven't done very much off it. I think they've done one other thing off of that.
Bucky, what would you rather see in those situations?
I'd rather see 2 backs in the backfield, and I need Roschon to be my lead block. I need him, if there's going to be a collision, I want him colliding with the linebacker and me giving the ball to Bijan. You know what I'm saying? I'll go off tackle. If you tell me Roschon has that backer over there in the B or the C gap, I'll take that one-on-one with a guy behind me, number 5 carrying the football. I'll take that.
And Roschon's a physical player. He had a big chip block on a DN today.
Dude, I saw him buckle that dude.
Buckled him. And then he caught the pass and went down the sideline, same play.
Dude, he buckled that guy, Zay. That's what I've been saying. They're going to get rid of that play in football.
And when that happened, first half.
Dude, that dude went down. He went to one knee, too.
Was that the Michael Parsons, Leonard Fournette type play?
Yeah, it was the exact thing.
No. And that guy went to a knee, and he was on one knee for a while thinking, damn, now I got to watch out for that the whole game, because that guy 240 hitting you like that underneath your rib cage, I knew that hurt, because if you don't get pancaked there, you generally go to a knee because you get the wind knocked right out of you. And he laid on that knee for a little bit. I'm like, he's going to be thinking about that the rest of the game. But Roschon is he's talking about a lead blocker. I mean, that guy's a fantastic lead blocker. Just hump it up there with him. I don't care if you line up in the eye or an offset eye. I don't care if they know it's coming, but I don't need him to be the ball. He's a different type of ball carrier. He just is.
Right.
And everybody thinks he moves the pylon. I need a guy who can slither and slide every once in a while for a yard, too. I don't need a guy that always has to run somebody. Let him run over the linebacker coming in there.
Yeah, sometimes defenses are meant to stop backs more like a Roshan Johnson than like a Bijan Robinson.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Bijan's way more slippery. And Sark had to tell him last week, hey, quit dancing. But sometimes that dancing is how you get those extra yards. So let's go to the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. We got Donnie on the line. Donnie, what's happening, man?
Real good. I just want to say good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
And, the first thing is, Bucky, thanks for that first Big 12 championship.
Give me that sprinkle that sugar, big dog.
Oh, yeah, you know it. Hey, I thought the offense did good. We had them at 31-17. They were pushing on them. And then we go into a zone defense to where we left openings in the backfield that they could drive a truck right, a semi. They left too many openings. When we played Alabama, they were on the line. They made their adjustments when they lined up, but we didn't make no adjustments. We backed up. We gave them the game. Defense coordinator, he needs a lesson. He gets an F for his grade. The offense gets a B, and the defense gets at least a C, but you have to be able to put them in a good position. They were not put in good positions to play them.
You know what? And thank you, Donnie. I thought they got a little conservative on the deep. They didn't put enough pressure on that kid. They were thinking that front four, and the front four guys didn't put any pressure on him without blitzing.
Coburn, Swag.
Yeah.
You know, Ojimo, Sorrell. You didn't hear those guys' names at all.
Y'all think
like Donovan Smith, really – it seemed like Donovan Smith was really comfortable and just did whatever he wanted to do. You know, he was way too confident, especially when you get those fourth downs that they get, it ignites juice in your whole team. And on the opposite side, for the psyche of Texas, it just makes you kind of hang your head, be like, damn, we got to stay on the field. We already been on the field all day. It's hot out here in Lubbock.
Or get off the damn field. That's what I always say. Hey, I'm hearing guys at the postgame talk about how's it feel to be on the field that long. I mean, I know you guys had to be tired. Well, get off the field.
Yeah.
That's why you play defense. You play, get off. That's nobody's fault but you.
Corey, what were you saying?
No, you were just talking about the D-line, and I was like, do y'all think the tempo had anything to do with them not getting a real push back there?
They're going to see a lot of that. They're going to see a lot of that from now on. Now that you saw that in Lubbock, because Oklahoma is faster than that when they get up to the lines,
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, you can't get conservative on defense. Those tight ends for Texas Tech, they started having their way. Price, those 13 catches, that's just unacceptable. But, it was kind of like they were daring Smith, okay, he'll make a mistake on his own.
No, and he did not.
He didn't.
No, he did make a mistake on. You got to force him into those mistakes because, once again, he's seeing things differently every week, too. I mean, he was in a big game last week against a really, really good defense in North Carolina State and still had them in the game. If you don't put him in a panic mode, he's going to sit back in there, and those guys are going to get open, and that's what they did. Like the big dog said, in the second half, those spaces in that secondary were wide open.
Bucky, before we get out of here, going into next week against West Virginia with the Horns going down in overtime tonight, now 0-1 in the Big 12, 2-2 overall. What do you want to see heading into West Virginia? You're coming back home.
30 touches for Bijan Robinson. That on the short end of it, 30 touches for him. And still reestablish yourself in your run game. That run game that you had versus UT San Antonio should have gone up to Lubbock, and that should have still been going on. But you're gonna have to get creative on certain things. You're gonna have to trust in some of the offensive linemen that you trust in pass protection. You're gonna have to start trusting them in run protection, where they're gonna have to run, turn, pull, vacate spaces, and you're gonna have to hope that the guy that's supposed to take the place of the guy that moved will do his job. You're gonna have to give this guy some more than one go, more than just downhill and hoping he can spin and make somebody miss. Give him a couple different cuts. You go inside when this happens. You go outside when that happens. That guy will make two guys miss. I trust that he's that good, being around a bunch of running backs. That guy he can beat you 2-on-1. Your two guys, and you give him space, are not going to make it's not going to be clean tackles. He very seldom gets one guy. I mean, he got hit when he fumbled, and that was after he spun around and was out of position, and that kid put a head right on the ball, Zay. That's just such a good tackle.
I was so unfortunate,
That was
uncharacteristic from Bijan Robinson, him fumbling, because in my mind, I'm thinking the Horns it's overtime. The Horns still got this game.
Yeah, and
they're going to win this game. They should be able to score easily and, getting the ball to Bijan Robinson, that was moving it in the right direction. That's what you want. You want the ball in one of the best running backs that we've seen in the last decade.
Right.
You want the ball in his hands. And
that ball belongs to everybody. That's not just your ball. I'm listening to the guy on ESPN talk about you need to wrap up with two hands. Man, I ain't seen a running back wrap up with no two hands. I mean, those guys know how to protect the ball with one arm. When he got spun, he could have had 8 hands on that ball. That ball got hit by that helmet, and that was it.
Yeah, it was just an unfortunate hit. I would say, Quinn Ewers, obviously the eyes are going to be on him.
Sure.
When will he be back?
You can win with Hudson Card.
You can win with Hudson Card. And Hudson Card opened the playbook more for him.
Absolutely.
Open the playbook more. Like, we all know that he's limited in certain ways, but he's proven to me that he deserves to have that playbook expanded for everybody's sake.
Does this mean they'll now take Worthy off of that punt return stuff?
Yeah, let's take him off.
I don't want to see him back there anymore.
Let's take him off. I feel like we can put somebody else back
yes,
there
indeed.
that could make something happen.
What about the kid who transferred from Iowa State, the one who caught the pass? Why can't he get back there and catch a punt? It looks like he's got some quick twitch.
Let's get him some run, because that catch that he made was incredible to put the Horns in field goal position to go into overtime.
Did that dude keep 2 feet in bounds on that catch?
I don't know about that.
He kind of stretched up there and got 2 in.
I don't know about that, but it was that foot was down.
Oh man,
that foot was down. But yeah, I mean, we'll see.
They're going to have to work. They're going to. I mean, I don't know if it's conditioning, but people are going to hurry up on these big guys on the defensive front. And once again, to me, it's a longer run to go to that sideline, take one play off, and then have to run all the way back out to just leave me in there. Let me get my breath in this huddle.
Yeah, that's going to be on. That's going to be on the scouting report from here on out. When it comes to how to beat Texas, you got to push the ball up the field, a little no huddle, moving the ball fast, not letting those guys get rest. And clearly,
Yeah, and I know. I mean, it's just peeing in the wind to say what happens if, Agent Zero is playing in the first half. I don't even want to make that as an excuse. I don't know.
Yeah, because they didn't look good when he got in the game.
Yeah, you're right. So it's not like you can say, well, he may have made a difference in the first half. They seem to be doing whatever they needed to do with the one wide receiver and not believing that quarterback could get you in trouble, because he got him in trouble today. He was very comfortable, Zay. He was way too comfortable for me watching him.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's it for us here at the Horn for the Horn post-game show on the Horn 104.9, 101.9 AM 1260. Also on Coke FM 99.3, 98.5, Thorndale, Austin, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. We're on all that right now. We're going to have normal slate of shows this upcoming week. I know you want to hear everybody and how everybody's take on this game, and looking forward to the West Virginia game. B&E will have you on Monday, like the Tower with Jeff, Snoop, and Craig. Me and Chad Hastings got you midday show. Ball Don't Lie, Harge, Patrick, Rod. Everybody will be back Monday to talk about this tough loss. Appreciate everybody who came on tonight. Appreciate Bucky Godbolt being in the building. Corey Guidry behind the glass. Appreciate him. Sorry for botching your name, Corey. I got you.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I am Isiah Collier.
Thank you, Isiah. Appreciate that. Appreciate all you callers, Corey. Appreciate you from last night. It was a madness, but you did a great job last night on the broadcast for Lake Travis and Westlake. You did fantastic, man. Zay, always appreciate you. I'll see you on Monday for the last day, my friend.
I'll see you on Monday too, Buck. This is The Horn.
Since 1977, Factory Mattress has been a locally owned family business, giving customers a great night's sleep at an unbeatable price. With decades of experience, a lower price guarantee on all the top brands, including Tempur-Pedic, and the advanced science of our Right Fit technology, Factory Mattress treats Texans right. Come experience the difference shopping local can make at Factory Mattress. Premium brands, lowest prices. Sleep on it.
My Factory Mattress. It's Aaron Hogan, and Bud Light is proud to announce they are the official domestic beer of the Texas Longhorns, the Texas Exes, and the Red River Showdown. Be on the lookout for the new limited edition Longhorn cans and bottles wherever you buy beer. The beautiful burnt orange Bud Light will also be available at DKR, so grab one while you cheer on your Longhorns this football season. Bud Light is brewed in Texas since 1982. It's made for Texans, by Texans. And be on the lookout for the Bud Light wherever you buy beer and that beautiful Texas Longhorn packaging. Bud Light, brewed deep in the heart of Texas and proud of it.
Hey, it's Craig Way. Since it's summertime now, how many guys listening are hitting 250 to 300 on the weight scale? Total Men's Primary Care will help you regain control of your life and weight. Through a combination of coaching, diet, and medication, Total Men's Primary Care helps you lose the most weight while ensuring you stay healthy and help your body develop long-term results. Taking care of your health has never been easier. Go to TotalMens.com and click on the big yellow button to book an appointment. Total Men's Primary Care, the doctor's office just for men.
Having trouble finding a dealer with used vehicles? Not at Round Rock Honda, Round Rock Toyota, Round Rock Hyundai, and Round Rock Genesis. Our used vehicle selection is second to none. Your current vehicle could be worth much more than you think. We're giving top dollar for your used vehicle. Stop searching and get a great used car deal. Round Rock Auto Group, with fine dealerships like Round Rock Honda, exit 254, I-35, and RoundRockHonda.com.
At In-N-Out, we like to think of ourselves as the vintage muscle car of burgers. After all, both are handcrafted, made with an appreciation for every detail. One with the finest materials, the other with the freshest ingredients. And seeing either one brings a smile to your face. Muscle cars and double doubles are all American classics, and both are gone in seconds.
Texas Truck and Trailer not only offers great Line-X truck upfitting to create that wow factor, but it's also your Austin residential and commercial Cub Cadet power equipment sales and small engine repair shop. Texas Truck and Trailer sells Cub Cadet garden tractors, zero-turn ride mowers, and electric lawnmowers will keep your landscape and acreage fit and easy to maintain. With 2 locations to serve you, in Leander on Crystal Falls Parkway and on Northeast I-35 in Runberg. For personal attention from a veteran ownership family that cares, call 512-528-6038. That's 528-6038.
Special teams. They're going to be pinning their opponents deep, which means their opponents are going to have a longer field to travel, which means their opponents on their scoring drives are going to, on average, gain more yards. Great special teams is making the defense look worse, which it isn't. Similarly, offensively, if you have great special teams, you're going to be consistently getting the ball in better field position, which means you have shorter fields to travel, which means your aggregate yardage numbers are going to be lower, which means your offense is going to be underrated because of the special teams giving you the good field position. That's why yards per play, one more reason why yards per play is the much stronger stat as opposed to the aggregate yards. And the number one offense, number one defense, whenever a handicapper throws that at me, I already have an opinion about that handicapper, even if I don't even know him. So, Lawrence, how does Lawrence Preston handicap the NFL? You know, I mean, if you had to do an overview of what do you look at, and I know, you know, we have like less than 3 minutes for the break, so you can't go on forever here, but give a little overview about, like, you're looking at the card for the first